Today for our session, working on our core, standing with our feet about hip width. And then we're going to take our chin to our chest. We're going to relax our shoulders, soften our knees, and we're rolling down through our spine nice and smoothly, one vertebra at a time, getting that stretch into our backs and the backs of our legs. And then we're going to slowly restack our spine as we're rolling back up again, nice and smooth. So just get that nice stretch through our spine. Roll your shoulders back and take your head up last. And we'll go again. Think about timing it with your breathing this time. So nice big breath in. Breathing out as you're rolling down. Breathe in and hold the stretch at the bottom. And breathing out as you slowly roll up. Try and think about drawing into your core. Squeeze your glutes as you restack your spine. Start to wake those core muscles up as we restack. Roll your shoulders back and take your head up last. And we'll go for one more nice big breath in. Breathing out as you're rolling down. Breathe in and hold the stretch at the bottom. And then breathing out as you restack, drawing into that core as you roll up. And then again, roll those shoulders back and take your head up last at the top. From here, we're going to roll down again and we're going to come down onto our hands and knees. So rolling down, we're going to walk ourselves forwards, coming down onto our hands and knees. So you're going to take your knees under your hips, your hands under your shoulders. From here, our shoulders are back and down, just trying a little bit of pelvic tilting in our 4-point position. So tip your pelvis forward and backwards, letting your lower back arch and flatten as you tilt. And then you're going to find neutral spine. So find that middle position with your lower back. Take a nice big deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, think about drawing up and in through your pelvic floor muscles. Draw your belly button in towards your spine. So those core muscles are engaging and switching on. So we're going to try and keep those core muscles engaged as we move through these exercises. So from here, we're going to tuck our toes under and we're going to try our pull-in prone exercise. So toes are tucked, you're going to take a breath in to prepare. And then as you breathe out, you're going to hover your knees away from the floor. You're going to breathe in and hold at the top, and then breathing out as you take your knees down nice and smoothly. So keep those shoulders back and down, keep long through your spine, core is active, breath in to prepare, breathe out as you hover your knees up, breathe in and hold, and breathe out as you take your knees down nice and smoothly. So really think about keeping strong through that core, long through your spine, just watch you're not rounding through your shoulders, keep them back and down, long through your back, try not to let that back arch. And it's just a hover of an inch or two of your knees. Okay, so just that little hover up, rather than coming all the way up here, just that little hover up, inch or two from the floor. Pausing for your breath in at the top and breathing out as you control them down. So you can stick with this movement, or if you want to make it harder, your progression is to step your hands further forward in front of your shoulders, keeping your toes tucked, keeping that back neutral. You're going to hover your knees up, the same as you just did, and then you're going to take your weight forward. So we're long through our body. Use our core to stay long through our spine, long through our trunk. As you pause and hold it here for your breath in, and then breathing out as you take yourself back, and then take those knees down. So breathe in to prepare, breathe out as you hover and push forwards. Breathe in and hold, and then breathing out as you take your hips back, and then take those knees to the floor. We'll go for 2 more reps of whichever option you're trying here. Last 2 reps, really using that core to check we're in a straight line. Try not to let your hips sink too low, try not to have your bum too high. It's a nice straight line through your body as you straighten yourself out. And last one here. When you've done that last one, you can untuck your toes, take a sit back onto your heels, relax your head down into your shell stretch, take a stretch through of your back and your shoulders. And then coming up, you want to give your wrists just a little bit of a circle after that one as well. It can get a bit tough on the wrists. And we're going to do one more, I say on our fronts. We're going to take a prop onto our elbows this time. So we're going to try our pull-in prone exercise again, but there's a different version of this exercise. So we're going to prop on our elbows for this one. And if you're on a mat, just make sure your toes are just on the edge of your mat here, just in case you want to do your progression in a moment. So our shoulders are back and down. Again, trying to think about lengthening through our spine. You're really drawing into those lower abdominals for this one. Taking a breath in to prepare. And then as you breathe out, stay strong through those shoulders, really draw into that core. And we're going to lift our hips up. So we're coming into like a mini plank position on our knees. You're going to breathe in and hold, and then breathing out as you slowly take your hips back down to the floor. So breathing in to prepare, shoulders stay back and down. Breathe out as you draw into that core. Stay long through your back. Try not to let your back arch here. So try and stay in that neutral position. Breathe in and hold, and then breathing out as you take your hips down nice and smoothly. So you can stick with this one, or if you want to challenge yourselves a bit more, you can take yourself up into a full plank. So you're going to take a breath in to prepare, Breathe out as you lift up, so the same as we were doing before, onto our knees. Then tuck your toes under, and then you're going to lift your knees from the floor, so you're coming into a full plank here. Breathe in and hold it there, and then breathing out as you take your knees down, and then control those hips down. So breathing in to prepare, breathe out as you lift, really drawing into those abs along through that spine. Squeeze those glutes as well, stay strong through those shoulders as we straighten ourselves out into our plank. Breathe in and hold it there, and then breathing out as you take your knees down and take your hips down. Let's even go for 3 more reps here, whichever option you're trying, just sticking with lifting up onto your knees. If that's enough for you, you don't have to add in the lift of your knees as well if it feels like it's a bit too much on your back. So we've got 2 to go. And then we'll go for 1 more rep, last one here. Try not to rush it, control yourself on the way down. Well done, and then pushing yourself up and back. Let's come back into our shell stretch and just take a few breaths here. That's it, take a little breather, have a bit of recovery. And then we'll slowly come up, we're gonna turn onto our backs. So if you've got a little pillow, you might want to use your pillow for your exercises on your back here. And then once we're onto our backs, we're going to start off with our 1 leg stretch, and we're going to try adding in our opposite arm at the same time. So it's quite a tough one to coordinate, and I'm going to show you an easier and a harder level here. So our knees are bent, feet on the floor. Our feet are about hip width apart with that space between our knees. You can try some pelvic tilting here, so tipping forwards and backwards with your pelvis. Feeling your lower back arching and flattening on and off the floor, and then finding that neutral spine position for you. So neutral spine is that halfway point between your back being as flat as you can make it and as arched as you can make it. So trying to keep our back in that neutral position as we're moving here. We're going to take our hands up to the ceiling, elbows are straight, shoulders are back and down into the floor. Our core is staying active, and we're going to take our opposite arm back as we stretch our opposite leg away, and then we're coming back in, and then switching sides, opposite arm stretches back as you reach your opposite leg away. So we're really using our core and our abs here, just watching as you take your arm back. We're trying not to let our rib cage flare, we're trying not to let our back arch. So our back stays neutral, our ribs stay flat to our stomach. So you should really feel like those stomach muscles are working to keep that control as we're stretching away and coming back in. So you can stay with this one, or you can progress this exercise if you like, by taking your legs off the floor into double tabletop. So that's a 90-degree bend at both your hips and both your knees. And then we're going for opposite arm and opposite leg as we stretch away. Come back in and then switch sides, other arm and other leg, and then coming back in. So again, breathe out as we stretch away. Breathe in as you come back in, really drawing in through your abdominals to keep that control. Again, being mindful that your rib cage doesn't lift or flare as you stretch away. And if you do find it's getting too much, you can drop down to your easier options, so sliding your legs along the floor instead of having those legs up in tabletop. We're trying to keep our pelvis as steady as we can. Try not to let your pelvis rock or tilt from side to side as we're stretching on this one. So we'll just go for 2 more here on each side. Hopefully we're really starting to feel those abs waking up and kicking in for this one. And then when you've done those last few, if you bring your knees into your chest, hug your knees in with your hands and give your back a stretch through. Just take a little breather. And then if you take your legs down from there, so feet are still hip width, that space between our knees, and we're going to try our crisscross for our next one. And this one's going to work our obliques, so our side abdominals. For this one, we take both our hands behind our head. And again, I'm going to show you an easier and a harder option. So I'll start off with the easier option. So back is neutral, we're drawing in through our core. We're trying to stay open through our chest, and we're keeping that space between our chin and our chest. So try not to let that space reduce. Try not to squash your chin into your chest as you lift here. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift our head and shoulders from the floor. We're going to try and keep them lifted. So this is our abdominal preparation. We're really drawing into our abs as we hold this position. Then we're going to slide one leg away. And as you slide your leg away, you're going to try and lift your shoulder blade from the floor and rotate round. So you're taking your elbow towards your flexed knee. So opposite elbow towards your opposite knee. And then you're going to come back to the middle, slide your leg back in, and then go the other way, lift and twist in the other direction before you come back again. So breathe out as we twist. Breathe in as you come back to the center. Try and get your head and shoulders away from the floor the whole time, but we're trying not to pull up on our head with our hands. We're using our abs to keep our head and shoulders up. If you want your harder option, you're taking your legs into double tabletop, And then again, you're going to rotate opposite elbow towards your flexed knee as you stretch your other leg away. Then bring your knee in as you come back to the middle, and then rotating round and back. So trying to be mindful as you reach your elbow across. Try not just pull your elbow across your body. Think about trying to lift through your shoulder blade as you reach across. Keeping that space between our chin and chest, really drawing into our core as we're moving here. And don't forget, if you find it's getting too much, you've got your easier options, sliding those feet along the floor to just make it a little bit easier if you need that option here. So we're going to go for 4 more in each direction. Keep drawing into those abs, so we should really feel those stomach muscles working now, hopefully. So I think you should have 2 more on each side now. If you're working about the same speed as me, keep time with your breathing. And then when you've done those last few, you can lower down from there. Take your legs down slowly, one at a time if they are up. Bring your hands down to your sides. Just check you're nice and open through your chest. And then give your knees a rock from side to side. Give your abs a stretch through as you rock with those knees. And so take a breather, take a stretch out. Well done. And then let's take those knees back to the middle. And then we're going to take a sit up for our next one. So depending on how you find it, if you find this uncomfortable on your back, you might want to roll onto your side and then push yourself up this way. Or you can just sit straight up if you feel that's okay on your stomach muscles and on your back. So we're going to try our roll up. So you're sitting up with your knees bent, your feet and your legs are about hip width apart, so space between our knees again. You're going to take your left hand onto your left knee, right hand onto your right knee. You're going to sit up tall, shoulders are back and down. So we're tall through our spine to start with. We're drawing in through those abs, and then we're going to think about tilting our pelvis. So as we tilt through our pelvis, we're going to make a bit of a C shape through our spine. And just watch, as you make that C shape, try not to hunch your shoulders up or squash your chin to your chest. So we're going to stay looking forwards, shoulders stay back and down, but we're trying to round just that little bit through our spine, curving through our spine. Keeping that C shape, we're drawing into our core as we lower ourselves back. And then keeping those abs working, we're drawing ourselves forwards, and then we're going to extend and sit up tall at the top. So breathe out as you round and lower back, and breathe in as you come forwards and sit up tall at the top. So you can use your hands to help you with the movement. So you can just use your hands to assist you as you just bring yourself back up if you need to, and just to watch that you're not going back too far. However, if you feel like you're okay with that one, you want to challenge yourselves a bit more, taking your hands away from your knees to check those shoulders are still back and down. Make that C shape through your spine. You can lower yourself back a little bit further. Really watch you're drawing in through your abs. Try not to push them out or let them down. So we're drawing in the whole time. And then you're bringing yourself forwards in that C shape, and then extending and sitting up tall at the top. So breathe out as you round and lower back, and then breathe in as you bring yourself forwards, and then sit up tall at the top. Keep those shoulders away from your ears as you're moving through your spine, through your hips here, really drawing in through those stomach muscles. So just working through the range that feels right for you. We'll go for 3 more here. And so our next one should be our last one. Keep it nice and smooth. Try not to rush it just because it's your last one. Well done. And then when you've done that last one, we'll take a lie back down from here and then give those abs another stretch through. So just take your arms to your sides. Give your knees a rock side to side. Give your back a nice stretch through. Well done. Then from here, let's just take a slow turn over onto our sides, and then you can take a sit back up from there when you feel ready to. And then we're all done. So hopefully you found those exercises really started to challenge your core muscles. So you should have felt it working your stomach muscles. You might have felt it working your back muscles as well. Fingers crossed you're feeling stronger for doing the session. Don't worry if you ache a little bit afterwards. A bit of an ache is a good thing because it shows that we're getting those muscles stronger. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed the session. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you again soon for some more Pilates.